What if I told you the way it has always been done is not the best way? Facing your fears will change your life. The passion behind this journey is merging two separate worlds into one with the goal of creating value and awareness for a better life.
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode is brought to you by R&R Pipeline, an infrastructure company. Our purpose? Enhancing America's infrastructure with a safety-driven, integrity-led culture that provides an environment for team members to grow and thrive. Welcome to another edition of the Iron and Infrastructure Podcast. And today, I wanted to take some time to showcase some gratitude to all the listeners and to kind of reflect on what all I have learned along the way and what this journey has been like. So for me, to start off, episode 1, absolutely epic for me to be able to interview my mentor, best friend or great friend, and now business partner, Corey Gregory. We have a couple of different business interests together and we train every day. There's no way that I couldn't have had him be the first person to be on the show. He is a podcaster in his own right. He's had multiple different shows. He's very big in the content space, but not only that, he's made a huge impact on my life and so many other lives. So I had to make sure that he was really the first one to be on the show, and in epic fashion, just like I would be unprepared for most things in life. I've tended to be unprepared to certain degrees, and the episode was a disaster. Thank God Corey delivers a good message. I didn't prepare for it. We just kind of went for it. And Corey's style has always been of that nature, and mine has been somewhat of that nature. But normally I'm confident in the arena of which I'm speaking on or what I'm doing because of having insight in that area. And this was not something I had insight on. So the first episode, the audio wasn't hooked up right. The camera was overheating. Corey has to take his commercial break. And I thought, man, this is so much harder than what I ever would have imagined. But toward the end of that, it started to become somewhat comfortable. And it was comfortable because it became more just authentic and I wasn't trying hard. And throughout that, I would say that's one of the biggest takeaways overall is you just got to be you. Be authentic. Talk about what you've done. If someone sees value in what you've accomplished in your life, then talk about it. Don't try to manufacture it. Don't try to make it something it's not. Just talk about what you did. Telling a story is not something that's easy. Telling a story has an art to it. But if you dig into the details, if you talk about the thing, why you overcame this thing to become this person, or what you did to overcome certain things, and then facing your fears in life, them were the big talking points throughout the majority of the shows. This is the fear that I had at a very young age, and now it's not so much anymore. I am aware of that fear. I don't think the fear ever goes away, but like today, I put my arm around fear and say, let's go. You're with me, because I dictate the terms of my fear, and I am in control of that fear. That's probably the one big takeaway from the beginning. Sometimes you just got to jump into the unknown. You just got to go do the thing. There is no guaranteed outcome that's going to be there. You might fail. You might not get what you want out of it. But if you try, the failure is really quitting because it gets hard. And I think with my lack of understanding what this space looks like, for me to really kind of go gung-ho on it in September, to think the opportunities that would have arrived in 6 months, post-release to now, I would have never imagined. The amount of things that I've been able to create because of making opportunity, the amount of people I've been able to meet, the amount of people I've been able to impact, it's all been worth it. It's all been worth it. The hardships on the weekends, questioning whether or not this thing was even going to get any traction or not, wondering if it was going to help one person or not. I didn't know, but now I know, because it has. For all of you that have reached out, and whether criticism in a negative light or positive light, I want to say thank you. I am appreciative of both. I have not got much negative feedback. I would say the best criticism I've received is I don't listen well enough whenever I'm interviewing somebody, and I know it, and it's a conscious effort of mine to improve on that. I know that I am not a very good listener, and part of communication and growth in general is working on them weaknesses. I know that. Sometimes I don't deliver a clear message. I also know that. I also know that I skip some steps. I go from 1 to 2 to 10 on a 10-step platform. Also working on that. But thank you for the ones that were transparent with me, and I welcome it. Bring it on. Let's hear about it. Because I promise nobody out there listening has more criticism for myself than I will, and nobody can even imagine the bar that I set for myself in my life, so it's not going to hurt my feelings. You cannot hurt my feelings, and I can't fix it if I don't know about it. So bring it on. I welcome it. Personal development and reflection, gratitude has been the latest theme in my life, but has been a theme on the personal development side for a long time. And with personal development, I look at mentorship and guidance from mentors the same way. So powerful. Let other people help you expedite your journey with the mistakes and the things that they've learned along the way. You will never regret it. I promise you that. You will never regret letting someone else guide you in a way to get where you want to go because they've already been there or they're there. Let them at least talk to you. Don't think you're smarter than everybody else. If you do, then good luck. Because being in a room where you're the smartest all the time, or at least you think you're the smartest, you're in the wrong room. That's just the way the world works. Always seek out advice from people that are where you want to be at in life. Don't ever quit learning. Be curious all times. Be curious. So, Corey was on for the first episode and talked about taking the risk, jumping out into the thing, and not letting what your current environment is dictate where you're going. I know that the environment that you're in can weigh you down. If it's not an environment you desire to be in, change it. Create your own environment. Get out of the one that you're in, change the one that you're in, or just isolate yourself and do what you got to do. Because at some point, you're either going to be the environment or become the environment that you're in. Separate yourself if you so desire to do different than what you're around. It's part of it. Part of the evolution. I had the roundtable guys on, got to sit down with them, and it was awesome to sit down and see, their feedback and what they thought, with me not having any insight on content when I started this. And it was almost laughable, to be honest. If I was ever going to do content or anything within Max Effort, them guys would be like, Jake don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm sure there's plenty of laughs, rightfully so. Things said, rightfully so. But I wasn't scared to be vulnerable. I wasn't scared of the things that could be said or any of that. I know that looking at it from, perspective of someone out of the space to getting into space, the opportunity to delve into this and to grow and to learn what I've been able to learn has been so impactful for me as a person within business and outside of business. I've learned so much from other people. It's been absolutely powerful. The one thing that's been non-negotiable in my life is the iron. The iron truly does build up your infrastructure. And in my case, I merged my two iron worlds together with heavy equipment and weightlifting. I merged them together, and that's what's built my infrastructure. And I'm damn proud of it. And I want to help other people do the same thing. Tyler Treadway, absolute shout out to Tyler Treadway. He had to have some big time courage to come to me and say the things that he did. But he did it out of love and respect because he cared. He's seen something that I couldn't see, and he was willing to go out on a limb and help me. and I'll be forever grateful for Tyler Treadway. He absolutely helped this thing get where it's at, get it off the ground, and get it started. And it may still be kind of in the weeds right now if it had not been for him. So not only from a professional standpoint have I been able to grow, but personally I've been able to help share some of the stories that have impacted my life greatly. My bad day perspective. Jeremy Traeger, my best friend, talking about what he's overcame, the trials and tribulations that he's went through, and just how savage he had to be, mentally callous he had to be to get out of that situation, to wake up every day just to continue to live had to be brutal for him. I've seen it from a distance, and I know how hard it was for me to watch. But he did it. Now his story's out there. I can't wait to have him on again because he has overcame 1% of 1% odds. And very few people ever get the opportunity to do that. And the ones that do very rarely ever actually go through with it and make it. It's something that has been amazing to bring them people in. And it's not just about him. It wasn't just to bring him on and just to talk about, look at me, look how great I am. I bet people listening to his episode have been impacted by it because of maybe knowing someone that's been in that same hospital, fighting that same battle. You never know. You never know what someone's going through. You never know what trial that person is going through. The person that you think is just being rude to you at the counter at the grocery store, they might just be having a bad day. You never know what someone's going through. That's what it's all about. It's about helping other people, getting the opportunity to maybe just put a smile on someone's face on a daily basis. Maybe just putting a smile on someone's face that hadn't smiled for a while. There's power in that. Had Nate Saxon on. I had worked with Nate previous at R&R Pipeline, years ago, and I almost fired him on his birthday. His 21st birthday, he showed up, and he had 4 minutes or I was going to fire his ass, and I didn't care if it was his birthday or not. That had no impact on me at that point, and the decision to fire him was a business decision. And we reflect on that a little bit, talking about the transition from being lost to finding yourself, and the discipline and work ethic that Blue Collar Nation has, and how if you apply the personal development to that professional discipline to get up every day, to go work hard every day, man, you can really start to expedite your journey, change your life, and figure out what you want. And taking a leap of faith like he did, he left a secure job, took a leap of faith. Now he's changed his life completely. And I would say the 5 or 6 people working under him, I would say their lives are changing every day. And then you get to someone like a Jeremy Smith who had the ultimate disadvantage in life. He's a dwarf. He was born and raised that way in a blue-collar nation. He had to do and overcome unfathomable things that majority of us will never even be able to comprehend or even try to begin to understand because it's something that we will never face in our life. And Jeremy's whole life was that way. And instead of dwelling on it, he's made an impact on the world. 11-time world record holder in powerlifting. He's had all kind of unimaginable feats of strength. Boxing, he's done an amazing, amazing job of putting himself out there and not letting his environment and his situation dictate him. And going to Westside Barbell had to be one of the most empowering things for him because he realized that big ain't strong, strong is strong. Shout out Jeremy Smith. I hope you're doing well, brother. Me and G go back and forth all the time. G is a coal miner. He is someone that has been a mentor of mine for a long time. And he's blue collar through and through at his core. Now, he got away from that because he did not want to continue down that path of what his family legacy was. He wanted to give his family a different opportunity in life because he didn't have that opportunity. Personal development, health, taking care of yourself. These are all things we talk about frequently tips and tricks of how to do that. Hacks for being on the road. There's a lot of value in just these little things. And we go back and forth almost monthly. And it's been great to understand that I'm not some crazy outlier. It is possible for everyone to focus on their wellness, take care of themselves, be a blue collar worker, be proud of it, and still be able to show up healthy and happy in your life. I had the old Roundtable podcast. I put them back out just to kind of showcase some of the journey, reflect on some of it, let people that may not know my story get a different viewpoint from a few years ago. And I think there's importance in that, transparency and vulnerability, knowing that I don't know what I'm doing, especially then. I'm still learning today, and it's okay. It's okay to put it out there. It's okay to be raw and vulnerable and authentic. I personally think it's better. I'm just some pipeliner. I grew up working hard putting pipe in the ground. It's evolved so much from that, but through and through, that's who I am at my core. And authenticity for me is a non-negotiable. I am who I am, and I will always showcase that. And if you don't like it, I look at it like a you problem, not me, because it's me. It's who I am. And then on the mentorship side, I call it my Mount Rushmore of mentorship, and Corey would be the first one. The second one would be Dr. Eric Serrano. Serrano, I'm going to call your ass out again. I'm going to drive to your house and get you on the damn mic if I have to. Be prepared. I'm going to show you this clip when it's done too. So Corey, Dr. Serrano, and then Adam Lewin. Out of nowhere, I meet Adam Lewin, and he introduces me to Jim Havens, my attorney. Jim is one of my staple business mentors. I look at him like a father now, and I love the guy. He is such a friend of mine and a father figure to me that was an unforeseen side effect of our business partnership. The power in being real and authentic with him, his ability to see what someone's capable of without having any idea of the possibilities. How he does it, I'll never understand. But you will never find another human like Jim Havens that is so genuine and passionate and done so much analytical work because of adversity. His impact on me is massive. I will be forever grateful that Jim Havens and I met, and the way that we met just speaks volumes. I went out on a limb to introduce myself to Adam Lewin. Side effect of that, compound effect, ripple effect, I meet Jim Havens. So powerful. It was absolutely so powerful. And I'm forever grateful for it. Jim is the one that suggested to go to Strategic Coach, and then the ripple effect continues. The ocean's made of a lot of drops of water. And that drop of water, once you just keep dropping in that container, you keep putting in that deposit, the knowledge just starts to spread, it starts to grow, and it's absolutely amazing. And I am forever grateful for it. Adam Lewin, I mean, my God, I can't say enough about him. He has done so much for me in so many different ways. I would have never imagined that this friendship, this partnership that we kind of had from a business perspective, this person that owed me nothing, to this day, I still feel indebted to him and grateful that I had that opportunity for him to come out and tell his story on almost 90 years in business. A business his grandfather bought in 1934 for $500 out of an auction. It's rare to find someone like Adam Lewin, a third generation entrepreneur that has evolved an already established business and done such an amazing job in the community and been so impactful for other people. And he's probably impacted way more people than he's even aware of. And for that, Adam Lewin, I am forever grateful for you. And then the opportunity, because of these initial releases, because of conversations, someone like Josh Akers comes in and gets to talk about making a decision after being faced with some really tough news. News that his decisions over years had led to unhealthy, potential devastating issues. Actions taken over a long time created a very, very difficult situation for him. And he decided to take the hard road. He decided that, you know what? I have done this long enough. It is time for me to step up and be a man and face what I have done head on and no longer let this thing get me down. And I am not only going to change me, but generations of Akers, generations of people that were just willing to accept this as their life. And my God, has he done it. He joined us at R&R Pipeline last year, and since then, he's been phenomenal. Absolutely inspiring personal accomplishments for what he's had to overcome. The health transformation has been absolutely incredible. He is someone that I have so much appreciation for. So grateful that I was able to cross paths that day on a job site randomly for no rhyme or reason why. There was no explanation that day. There was no thing of us being set up. There was nothing that we had in place to be around each other that day. And not only did we cross our paths, but we were able to come together, create this magical, powerful unity leadership team. Josh was the completion of that leadership team. And then Josh, seeing the bigger picture, understanding what life really looks like, takes it, introduces me to his daughter, Hannah, who is now doing all the behind-the-scenes work for the podcast and all of my social media, and has taken it from going to evolving and going and having real growth and trajectory. It's went so far beyond what I thought was even possible. I would have never imagined it would become what it is today. And now I can see what it's going to look like, and I'm super excited for it. The ability to understand that has been very rewarding. It's been very awesome to see the impact of me having some inspiration into Josh and Josh getting inspired and then putting it into Hannah and then us collaborating and just how it all comes full circle. Cole Suzak came on, 4 a.m. crew, Graphic Gangster, shout out. And he defined success one of the best ways I had ever heard. And we talked a lot about success being personal. It's individual. Success is something internal. It's not a tangible thing. It's how you feel. It's not what you have. And we dive into that very deep. And, you know, small town upbringing, the environment that we were both in, we went against the grain and just persevering and hard work and having that blue collar work ethic and what it's been able to do for us, being persistent and then creating an opportunity. Cole stacking test boosters, going through this internship at Max Effort, and then he posts up one day and has a desk and he's like, this is my spot. This is where I'm going to sit and I'm going to get busy. I'm going to do what I got to do. Having him on was really, really neat because he comes from that small town, younger generation, and he showcases a lot of what Blue Collar Nation represents. And it's been absolutely amazing to see that. We had on a few other guests with different perspective that I'm greatly appreciative of. You know, Rob Dubay. I'm in a class of 10 disciplines now. Rob is one of the founders of the E-Leap, the Entrepreneur Leap program, and I was fortunate enough to meet Ryan Henry, who is a great friend of mine now, EOS implementer and true serial entrepreneur visionary. And Ryan introduced me to Rob Dubay to go on the Elite podcast interview. And that was what started this expedition so quick for me, because I did not originally intend on releasing the show until the beginning of 2024. And because of going on Rob's podcast, G said after lifting one day, he's like, dude, you better get your shit ready. If you're going to go on that platform, you better have yours out there. So you got to go. It's gas pedal time, boy. That's what we did. So we got the gas pedal on. I went on the Elite podcast 4 or 5 months later. I got the honor and privilege to interview Rob Dubay, talking about wellness, talking about slowing down, doing nothing. His book, Do Nothing. He talks a lot about presence, intention, being intentional on where you're going, why you're going there, your personal well-being. As someone that's high strung, sometimes you got to figure out how to just kind of go even kill and make sure that you're aware of what you're doing. Rob Dubay, 10 Disciplines, Entrepreneur Leap. Rob Dubay, I'm forever grateful for you, my friend. Then had on someone who had became a very close friend of mine. We worked together for a little while, who has an absolutely crazy story. Murphy Smart. He's from Colorado. He ended up in Ohio almost by accident. He's a gypsy at heart. He's a rancher. He's a construction worker. He knows what it is like to overcome adversity, how to handle big, scary situations. But he also understands the power in building a relationship, and how building a relationship and figuring out who's a good person to be around and who's not. Understanding the power in health and wellness, mental and physical health and wellness. Trying to find maybe some balance, but understanding what it looks like when it's time to go, and then also understanding what it's like when it's time to pull back a little bit. And we met randomly, became working together. He worked for us as a consultant, and he asked a question one day. He said, "What's the biggest pain point in your business right now?" And my answer queued him up to say, "Man, that's what I do. Let's figure this out." And that's what we did. And he helped get the problem figured out. Dan Fosselman, who is a doctor who works for Eric Serrano, and he has some other businesses that he works within. He's a chief medical officer for the Armory. Dan has became somewhat of a mentor in the medical side for me because of his ability to help me rehab lifelong injuries. And I went to Serrano a couple of years ago and said, "Dude, my knee's bad. We need to look at it." And it was bad, so we did look at it, and then he said, you need some work. So Dan did all the injections that I had done, helped me through the rehab process, and in that time became not just a friend to talk about, being a father and being a leader of a family, but in his educational background and mine are so different. But we see the world pretty similarly, or at least understand each other very well. And having that holistic approach to medicine and trying to avoid the surgery if possible, and trying to figure out how to work through the nagging things that sometimes people just run to get a pill to fix. Having that similarity in the mindset has been very powerful. It's been awesome. And then, Pack a Lunch with G. One of our last episodes was Pack a Lunch. All about mindset, grit, determination. If you're going to keep up with me, boy, you better pack a damn lunch, because it's going to be a long day. And then got to kind of recap the journey with Treadway up until that point, and, reflect on what it's been like. And then after that, because of the fortunate opportunity to hire an assistant, knowing that for me to go to the next level, I had to have someone organize my life, because I'm an organizational dumpster fire, like I talk about, and hiring Dane. Shout out Dane. You better get ready for the show. From Superpowers. The company Superpowers has given me more flexibility and freedom in how I operate, intentional understanding, and priority awareness. If you take nothing from this recap, priority awareness. Do you have your priorities aligned? And for me, I didn't. But the ability to, hire Dane, work with her, meet the co-founder, Ryan Kaysen, who is business partners with my strategic coach, mentor, and coach, Stephen Nooner, who will be on the show soon. Stephen Nooner and Ryan Kaysen had some business interests together. They started Superpowers because of hardship and adversity that they had. And once again, put yourself out there, the network. And his story is absolutely incredible. He was a political consultant. He's done endurance events his whole life. And we talk a lot about the role of an executive assistant and how powerful it is for ultimate freedom. That kind of recaps the first 6 months. Like I started the show off with, I appreciate everyone that has reached out. I appreciate everyone that is providing feedback. I want to know what you guys want to hear about, want to talk about. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. I want to know all about it. I want to know how I can help. My journey is a lot about helping other people because of everything I've dealt with and everything I've went through. I have a passion for helping other people. And that's what the show is all about. How can we help develop your infrastructure? For me, it's been iron. It's all the iron. It's the heavy equipment, the pipe, the weightlifting, the merging the worlds together to create my personal infrastructure. How can I help you build your personal infrastructure? How can I help expedite the journey, get you over the adversity you're going through? If you think there's a way, please reach out. That's what I'm here for. This is a recap of the first 6 months or so of the Iron Infrastructure podcast, about the first 20 episodes. I will probably do a quarterly recap just to have a little bit of reflection, understanding, and to revisit the moments that I've been able to have and provide insight on what that growth path has looked like. Thank you all so much, and especially you that have reached out. If you like the show, reach out. If you want to hear from me, if you like the show, share it to your friends, your family, whoever you think might need to hear it, might need to make a change. And at the end of it, if you think I can help you out, please come my way. That's what I'm here for. This is the Iron Infrastructure Podcast, the first recap of the show, the first 20 or so episodes. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next time. This episode is brought to you by Max Effort Muscle. For all your supplement needs, go to maxeffortmuscle.com.